2023 was a difficult year for Yamaha. After winning the world title in 2021 and fighting for it until the last race in 2022, Fabio Quartararo and Yamaha expected big things going into the 2023 season. But having not won a race since the Sachsenring in 2022, it has been a very difficult time for the Japanese manufacturer and their star rider. It's begged the question after Marc Marquez has left Honda for the more competitive Ducati, would Fabio Quartararo do the same at the end of the 2024 season? Like we've mentioned, had a very tough 2023 season. It was a year where the Yamaha really wasn't competitive at any race, apart from a few. He did get a few podiums, but in all honesty, Quartararo never truly fought for a race win. He was never really at the front. He had a podium in America, a sprint podium in Austin, a podium in India, a podium in Indonesia. Really the high points of the year, but it was the same messages from Quartararo throughout the year. The Yamaha simply wasn't strong enough. Whether that area be the engine, the grip issues that they have, even the famed strength of the Yamaha, its turnability, how quickly it can get through a corner and how smooth it can be. The engine characteristics used for the 2023 Yamaha completely offset that, and we believe for the 2024 season they've gone back to something they know that helps them in this area, and it'll be interesting to see how they go this year. Quartararo's made no secret that he thinks that Yamaha have changed their approach to working towards new parts, developing the bike, and he did say that they're trying to focus on more of a European approach like KTM, like Aprilia, like Ducati. But Yamaha are still different in the sense that we've heard that Honda have planned 22 private tests this year to make advantage and use of the concessions rule that's been put in place to benefit them. Yamaha are in the exact same position as Honda, but we haven't heard anything yet from them in terms of what they're planning to do this year. Is there going to be private tests for them as much as Honda? Are they going to use Cal Crutchlow? This is the thing with Yamaha, you don't really hear much. They don't really want to be telling everyone what they're doing. This is the thing. And I think Quartararo wants a change. And will he get it straight away? I do think there is promise from Yamaha. They do have Alex Rins, and that is the real key. Someone who was the last rider to win on an inline 4, and that was on the Suzuki in 2022. He knows how those bikes work, and I think it's a good step for him to have someone like Rins as a measuring stick, because Rins, I do think, when he gets over all his injury problems, hopefully is fully fit at the start of this year, I think we'll see a real competitive edge between those two, which ultimately benefits Yamaha and Quartararo. It allows him to push on and really fight. Hopefully we get a good battle between those two teammates. I do think there is a loyalty there. He did win the World Championship with them in 2021. 2022, after that last race when they had in Germany, it really didn't go to plan. We've seen 4 DNFs. We've seen plenty of frustration from Quartararo, really overriding the bike and really extracting the most he could have got from that package. But it leaves you the question, does he want to change? And who would take him? Now, at the end of this season, it's a free-for-all, essentially. Every rider's contract, barring maybe Pecco Bagnaia and Brad Binder, we're going to see mad movement from a lot of riders. Quartararo, you'd imagine, would be at the top of many teams' lists, if not all the teams' lists. What are his options? Could he go to Ducati? Well, yes, there is a possibility of that. I do think, Ducati are just basically willing to take anybody to have the best riders on their bikes. Realistically, having Bagnaia and Quartararo, don't know how that would work. Both world champions. I do still think Jorge Martin, if Enea Bastianini doesn't perform to the levels that he should do in that team, I do think Martin is the favourite for the factory Ducati seat. One I see a lot on social media, and I don't know if it's just because I seen thing that Elisa Spogger was going to retire at the end of this year, but I do see people saying that Quartararo should go to Aprilia. Yes, Aprilia have a much better bike than Yamaha, but I do think it'll either be Oliveira or Ralph Fernandez that get pushed into that seat. So then it leaves Honda. Would he go to Honda? Now, a very similar situation to Yamaha. I don't think so. And then you have KTM as the last option, which I don't really think they want to promote in, because they want to push Pedro Acosta and all their other talents, even Marc Marquez potentially. So for me, I do think if Yamaha make a step this year, we'll see Quartararo stay, but I don't know where his cutoff point is. Does he give it to, say, round 6 or 7, the halfway point of the year, and then think, do you know what, we have not seen any improvements, and they keep telling me there is, but I'm not getting it, does he then decide it's time to move on? He's only ever been on a Yamaha in his MotoGP career, and I do think potential, I do think his riding style, how that Yamaha needs to be, set up for MotoGP in the modern day. I think if they can get back to something that they had in 21, there's so much emphasis now on aerodynamics, the top end, the ride height devices. In 2021, the strength of that Yamaha was Quartararo in the early laps of a race, pushing from the front, building up a gap and getting out front, and no one could catch him. Yamaha's problem for the past year and a bit has been qualifying, and they can't do a one lap. They just struggle so much. When you look at the race pace, most of the time for the Yamaha, it's actually pretty competitive, but they need to sort out the one lap pace that Quartararo was so good at for so many years. If they can sort that out, which I think they've hinted that they know what the problem is and they can try and fix it, but then if they fix the qualifying, would it upset the balance for the race? It's a real balancing act for Yamaha, and I do think that there is a lot of positivity for him. As like we've mentioned, the concessions for Honda and Yamaha, they can test so many different things throughout a year. Quartararo can do as many tests, within the tire limit that they have in their allocation, and he can also try out new things on a race weekend, new engine spec, aerodynamic packages. Very interested to see how it is for Yamaha and Quartararo this year. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think he will stay, or will he leave at the end of 2024? Make sure to like all our social media pages, Christ MotoGP. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the video below, and we will see you next time.